And, like, yeah, I speed. Everybody speeds, though. Like, everybody speeds. I don't understand, like, they're making it seem like they don't speed.
That's how Davion drove. That's only how Davion drove. So excuse me.
He was a car boy.
I know. For anything, we've got nothing to hide. You could ask me anything you want.
Nobody ever told me that, anything about driving.
Put that on the license. Exactly. No,
that was never said. Ever.
Nope. And if we do have to, then we will.
I don't care. Like, why would we lie and just not do that? If I knew that could affect my driving, I probably would never drive. Like, if I knew that could affect my driving, I probably would never drive. Like, people are allowed to drive with that, so don't say that. And ever since I got in here, it's been bad again. Like, I don't know what it is. Like I blacked out the other day, and like, it was so weird. It was like not normal. Like, it wasn't like bad how it usually is, but it was also like not like good. I don't know how to explain it. It was like the first time I ever had a blackout like that. Like, it was like weird as fuck. I don't know how to explain it. I'm blacking out bad as fuck right now. Like, I swear, I don't know what it is. I've been blacking out so bad. Like,
Kenzie, just sit down.
No, I just stood up. That's why I blacked out. But I got to like twitching and shit. Like, that's how it's been.
It's been testified in the medical records that your daughter suffered from POTS. Do you know what POTS is?
Yes. POTS is it's a condition where your blood pressure gets very low, and it happens sometimes when you stand up too fast, you can pass out.
Have you observed your daughter experience these symptoms?
Yes.
On how many occasions prior to this accident?
Multiple, couple for sure, multiple, yeah.
So you were aware of these POTS incidents, yet you still went to the BMV and said, give my daughter a driver's license.
Yes.
You signed off on her operating a car on the highway.
Yes.
Correct?
Yep.
Knowing that she had this issue?
It's not required to disclose it on a driver's permit. They didn't tell me I had to do that. I know people that have POTS and don't have it on theirs.
But this is your daughter, and you're giving your blessing to her for years to operate a car, correct?
Yes.
You never told her not to drive the car because of this POTS diagnosis.
She's been able to manage it.
And so you're here to tell us today that this was the reason that she crashed the car into the Plitco building. Isn't that the bottom line?
It could be.
Could it be?
It could be.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Yeah, no, I would be the one to just get like fucked up and like not like that, like get fucked over.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Not your fault.
I know, but it would be. Everyone would try to make it seem like that and would try to make me go to jail my whole life.
Just got wrapped up with the wrong family, really.
Yes, like this family, they suck. Bad as fuck. I don't like them.
No.
They're weird as fuck, like.
Terrible people, I know.
Not only did the defendant deny any medical condition when applying for her license, which her mother co-signed and attested to, but also that just after the accident, Mackenzie renewed her driver's license and again denied any medical condition. In fact, the defendant was so concerned about driving that, as the state mentioned during the investigation, she asked if they could just suspend her license for 10 years.
Yeah, like, can I just like take my whole license away for like 10 years or something like that? Like, I don't.
It is hard to fathom how a person could be concerned about their driving privileges, having just been responsible for the deaths of 2 people. There was no medical condition that caused this as an accident. There was no mechanical failure of the car. The record is clear on the facts and the evidence. But even if Mackenzie intended to also die in this crash, that is irrelevant. A failed suicide attempt is not a defense to murder. There's only one person who's responsible for the pain of everyone in this room, and that person is you, Mackenzie. Nobody else is responsible. This isn't the fault of Dominic's family, or Davion's family, or your family. And when there is a purposeful intent to harm or kill someone, it is the perpetrator alone who bears the responsibility for the choice and the consequences and the harm that follows.
Mackenzie has shown time and time again that she's not capable of taking accountability for her actions. I think she truly believes that she is the victim here. I speed. Everyone speeds. To listen to her and Natalie continue to downplay this is just astounding. Her dad does it in the calls too. They're acting like she was going 35 and a 25, only speeding a little. 100 miles per hour in a 25 is not speeding. It's reckless endangerment. It's like she just can't help herself but blame the victims. I speed, everyone speeds, all Davion did was speed. You ended his life. He didn't end your life. Him speeding, if that is even true, has nothing to do with this. The level of audacity here is just off the charts. Also, I'm a little confused by this here. I speed, everyone speeds, but she didn't gun it like that until she turned onto progress. After the crash, she said she passed out and doesn't remember anything. So what would be the need for downplaying the speeding if you're claiming that you were blacked out and not in control of your actions? From what I've seen, she's told a few different versions to different people. There's blacked out, turned on to progress and vision fades to black, and then hit her head and passed out. When you pass out, your muscles usually go limp, which would make it even more unlikely that a 90-pound girl would somehow be able to maintain 100% pressure on the accelerator while passed out for more than 30 seconds down an extremely bumpy quarter-of-a-mile stretch of road going 100 miles per hour. Just think about the amount of pressure that you would have to apply to keep it at 100%. Then in the audio clip, she says she blacked out again recently, but it wasn't as bad as it usually is, but it wasn't good. So there she is saying that the blacking out had been frequently. So why is she driving? Especially after doing drugs. As you just saw from some of the clips, she was known for being a reckless driver and driving at dangerous speeds. This was normal behavior for her. Not only did she drive recklessly, but she was quick to violence while driving. There are several reports of road rage incidents, as well as corroborating statements from witnesses, and she had her license less than 2 years. She somehow always flips it and blames him, downplaying her actions, just like she does here. So we have all these road rage reports, the clips I included from several different witness statements, and there are also texts from Dom on multiple occasions talking about her dangerous driving and reckless behavior. This one is 3 months before the crash and 1 month after the incident with Dom. That's the incident where she wouldn't let him out of the car, she wouldn't stop for red lights or stop signs, and then she assaulted Dom. She was speeding and driving erratically. He would later tell her she was driving like a maniac. In an attempt to get her to stop the car, he opened the car door at a stop sign. Of course, she turned this all on him and said that he was purposely trying to damage her mom's car. She pulled his hair and threw a rock at him. Later, she'll reframe the events to make herself the victim and him to blame. She did this often, just like her mother does on these calls. We're going to take a look at some of those road rage reports. I'm just going to summarize these. You can pause if you want to read it in full. I'll include those texts with Dom after, but first let's go to this incident that takes place on April 15, 2022. A man called the police because a car hit him and took off. The caller alleged Kenzie hit his vehicle, then took off into the metro parks, then right onto Whitney. He noted that she had a dog in her lap. He said Kenzie rear-ended him while at the light on Valley Parkway in Pearl. The police went to Mackenzie's house to question her. There was minor damage to the rear bumper of the caller's car, but Kenzie had no damage to her vehicle, and she denied ever hitting him. So that was the end of it, and they exchanged insurance information. This next one is a little longer. It's from April 4th, 2022. Oh wow, so this is just about 2 weeks before the one I just read. This girl is out of control. Mackenzie called emergency services, stating that an unknown vehicle was following her. She was advised to drive to the police station. Mackenzie said she was driving home from Polaris when she saw that a dark SUV was tailgating her. She first noticed this at Prospect Road and Westwood Drive. When they arrived at Prospect and Royalton, the subject, later identified as Daniel, exited his vehicle and approached her driver's window. In the video Mackenzie provided, it appears Daniel knocks on the window, stares, and smirks at her. Mackenzie stated she continued southbound on Prospect Road and turned onto White Bark in an attempt to get away from Daniel. She pulled into the first driveway and Daniel used his vehicle to block her in. Mackenzie was able to maneuver her vehicle out and continue driving. However, Daniel cut her off, parking in front of her, and exited his vehicle again, and then he walked up to her driver's side window. In that particular video, Daniel is seen standing beside the driver's windows with his arms crossed, staring. Mackenzie was able to flip around and by this time contacted emergency services. She was advised to drive to the police station. I spoke to Daniel on the phone, and he stated that he knew the phone call was about the incident that occurred. He stated he was traveling southbound on Prospect Road, approaching Mama Julianne's. He stated that the other vehicle, Mackenzie's, was behind him. As he turned into the private drive to Mama Julianne's, he stated the occupant of the vehicle threw something at his car and then flipped him off. He stated he exited the lot and followed the vehicle. He confirmed the details provided by Mackenzie, which was again corroborated by Mackenzie's videos. I spoke with Jan, who owns the building of Mama Julianne's. She has a camera that faces the private drive entrance off Prospect Road where Daniel claims the object was thrown at his vehicle. She'll follow up with me at a later date if she discovers anything on the video. I spoke with Natalie and advised her to gather more information from her daughter concerning this incident. Natalie stated if criminal charges are available, she would like to press charges. Included in the case jacket are Daniel's printouts, Mackenzie's statement, and stills of Daniel outside his vehicle. The videos are uploaded to the common folder. This incident will be forwarded to the prosecutor for review. If I'm remembering correctly, I do believe he gets charged with disorderly conduct. Because of course Natalie wants to press charges against the guy, even though her daughter's the one that started it and put herself in that situation. Don't get me wrong, the guy did go overboard and, made it really creepy. I'm not making any excuses for him. He definitely should have handled the situation differently. But of course, Mackenzie's the one who starts it, and then she goes and plays the victim. Like, you throw something at the dude's car and flick him off, and then are shocked when he follows you and upset and want to press charges, and now you're the victim? Come on. But then again, I guess this is just, common practice in the Shirilla family. Just seems kind of hypocritical that Natalie seems to want all the grace in the world for her daughter, but not for anybody else. She was all up in arms and in shock when she was told that it wasn't up to the families if charges would be pressed on Mackenzie. She didn't think that charges should be pressed on Mackenzie if the families didn't want that. When I don't know how she would know that they don't want to press charges, especially since they didn't even have all the facts yet. But even without all the facts, she knew that those 2 lives were ended because of her daughter and her daughter's inability to act like anything other than a kicking and screaming toddler. So let me get this straight, Natalie. You didn't think your daughter deserved to get charges pressed on her for ending 2 lives, but this guy should get charges pressed on him for reacting to your spoiled, rotten daughter throwing something at his car like a spoiled, rotten child. Do I have that right? I just want to make sure. And then you have the nerve to sit there and talk bad about these families. It's a little hypocritical that you want all this grace given to Mackenzie, but you're never willing to give any to anybody else. Just like when Mackenzie was in the hospital, Natalie called the detective several times about mean people on social media and wanted them to be punished. The detective told them to stay off social media, but that wasn't acceptable to them. And then come to find out, it would just be comments like, "I never thought you'd be the end of Dom," or comments saying that she did it on purpose, that Natalie turned around and labeled as threats, bullying, she's being cyberbullied and it's not okay, when her daughter's reputation was known for being a bully. Even at sentencing, she tries to tell the judge that there were these groups organizing to get Mackenzie when she got out of the hospital, when really that all just came from one unsubstantiated rumor that they were never able to verify. But hey, anything to take the accountability off their daughter, right? The audacity of this family is just off the charts. The self-awareness is non-existent. I really didn't think I'd see anyone as bad as Sarah Boone on the lack of self-awareness scale, but the Shirillas are up there with her. Even if they truly believe that Mackenzie did not end their lives on purpose, which I don't believe for a second, but she still ended 2 lives. There was not sufficient evidence to support a medical emergency. The evidence actually contradicts it. There has to be sufficient evidence to support the defense. It's guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, not guilty beyond any doubt. And that's what her family seems to focus on, any doubt. Well, it could have been this, it could have been that. Just because something could have happened doesn't mean it did. 2 things can also be true. She can have POTS, and it could also have nothing to do with the crash, which is what the evidence supports. Natalie testified that Shirilla had experienced a POTS episode a week or 2 before the crash and reported that it was really bad and it hadn't been that bad in a long time, and she was scared it was going to get worse. Natalie admitted that she did not take Shirilla to a doctor or limit her driving privileges. Again, so Mackenzie was still driving and doing drugs while driving. It just seems like an excuse that they're trying to use after the fact. In the recordings and documents that we have, Mackenzie has said that her POTS blackouts happens when she stands up, which wouldn't happen while sitting in the car. I know there are people out there with POTS who have said that it can happen when they're sitting, but Mackenzie has never described hers as happening that way, only when she stands up or stands up too fast. While the doctor testified at trial that it is possible Shirilla could have suffered a medical emergency, like a seizure or mini stroke, while still appearing normal in the medical examination, other evidence makes this potential explanation seem unreasonable. For example, Shirilla denied having adverse medical conditions when applying for a driver's license both before and after the crash. Moreover, someone manually moved the gear shift back into drive after it was moved into neutral in the seconds before the crash. There was no evidence presented that any medical condition could have caused Shirilla to simultaneously lose the ability to take her foot off the accelerator or hit the brakes while also intentionally manipulating the gear shift. The way she and her family continue to blame the victims and their families is disgusting. They keep trying to frame it like she's been abused by the corrupt system because Dominic's mom is a lawyer, that she somehow knows people, and that's the only reason Mackenzie was charged, when all the evidence indicates that she did this on purpose, whether they want to believe it or not. So for them to continue to sit there and say that Dominic's family is evil, terrible people, all because they gave Mackenzie the benefit of the doubt originally, and didn't change their minds about her until they were shown proof that she did it on purpose, just shows their level of class and who the evil people really are here. And newsflash, Shirillas, it's not the Russos, it's you.
That's a level of evil I will never, ever, ever understand. Because why? They didn't have to do all that. Like, you didn't have to invite us into your home and your heart and say those things. Like, that was completely unnecessary. That's crazy psycho level. That's crazy. Which
that
sucks.
just pissed me off so bad. I just been thinking about everything that they said. Like, now it's just like starting to come to me, like, what was said and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, people are really, like, evil as fuck. Like,
yes, they are. It's the whole family is just, I can't get with it because...
But now they just want to be weird as fuck, like...
Right, like, you didn't have to invite us into your home and your heart and say those things. Like, that was completely unnecessary. That's crazy psycho level. That's crazy psycho level. That's crazy. I don't understand that part.
And those cowards that spent every day with you after the accident, there's a special place in hell for them.
There's a special place in hell for them.
A special place in hell for being able to do that with you, to you.
Yes, that's, like, so weird and, like, manipulative and stuff.
Oh, it is repulsive. It's fucking repulsive.
No, that's what the general consensus has become. Because, if because it wasn't.
We should have done a jury.
No, because there's still other people that are like, I don't care, she did this, this, and this, and she should get the death penalty. Like,
is it more good or more bad?
It's more good. It's better now. Who's personally reaching out to her saying terrible, horrible things. It's basically harassment. Is there anything you can do to help us stop her?
She needs to stay off her phone.
Sometimes people make a visit to their house saying, stop, knock it off. We know what you're doing, and this is it's cyberbullying.
Well,
I just didn't know if you guys could. In the past, sometimes they have done that.
Well,
right, and the local.
Right.
Evil.
So, but somebody saying, you're evil, you killed. Now that's opinion. That until there's that threat of harm to Mackenzie, to you guys, or to your property.
Okay.
Wait,
when you go, she has a friend named Jana. Jana's not saying as bad, but if you could just throw Jana's name into that, if and when you go, it's those two. They're being very cruel.
Okay, what are they saying?
And she said, I never knew you would actually be the end of Dom. And then she texted me later that night and said, I know you did it on purpose. And
whatever. It's mean and it's cruel and it's... Well, you still might have to serve time anyway. It'll just be time served. Okay?
Oh, my God. Look, Mom, I'm not worried about I understand that I'm going to have to do some time. I mean,
That's what I mean.
I'm not worried about that. I obviously would rather not. I feel like I shouldn't do any, but that's how this has to be in this situation. That will make the families happy. But murder, what
no,
the fuck?
Hell no.
That's just horrible. And
nope. That's what I mean. So we're just going to go fight, and get guns a-blazing.
You can get a protest going and shit,
Yeah.
I'm dead-ass serious, a whole-ass protest.
Baby. Me too. If it does, which I can't believe it will, we just got to move on to the next round. That's all.
They're acting like I killed 85 people. I didn't kill nobody.
Sure, of course. Yep. Because it doesn't fit their narrative. It's just terrible, terrible, terrible people. People are like, well, it could have been this, it could have been that, it could have been this, it could have been that.
People are all saying that?
Yeah, nobody knows. Nobody knows.
So people don't think it was my fault?
Look at who they are. I hope that they know who they are, and they know who we are. Just look at everybody's backgrounds. Okay?
Yeah,